guys, Seth from Nat 20 Minis here, and today I'm just going to give you a little look into my process for painting minis. As you can see here, I have my Blood Ravens over here, and on the shelf I have all my Warhammer 40k armies, my Ultramarines, Necrons, and Tyranids, and of course over here are all my D&D minis. So today we are going to be painting a librarian for my Blood Ravens army. Now my Blood Ravens are a small 500 point army consisting of tactical marines and land raider and a soon-to-be librarian. So I will cover all the steps from priming it to all the smaller details and my final washing of the model. So let's get into it. So here we are outside for priming. For priming your models, you're going to want to be in a well-ventilated area, such as the outdoors or a place where there's a lot of air circulation so that you don't accidentally breathe in the fumes of the spray paint. Also, I have my shadow box here as to not get any paint everywhere while I'm priming. And I also have my primer of choice here. Now normally for Blood Ravens, I would prime the model in red since they wear red armor, but since I'm painting a librarian, and in the lore, librarians traditionally don blue armor, I will be priming him with Ultramarine Blue by Army Painter. And without further ado, let's prime it. Okay, so now my model is primed and ready for painting. I did miss a couple spots in the priming process. As you can see here, there's still a little bit of gray plastic showing, but we can always cover those spots during the initial base coating phase. So to start with, I will be doing just that. I will be finishing up the priming coat. And then what I like to do first is, for humanoid models, I like to paint the skin and physical features first, and then paint the clothing, like his robes and all that. And then finally we'll be painting his forestaff, and that's just in the base coat phase. After that we will be doing highlights and smaller details, and once we're done with that, then we apply the wash and paint the rim, apply some terrain, etc. And then the model will be done and ready for the photo shoot. So let's get started. So for painting, what you'll need is, of course, you'll need your paint, which for filling in the gaps on the model, I'll be using Citadel Paint's McCrag Blue. You also need water to clean your brush when you're done. And also, I like to have a fan right next to me while I'm painting, just to kind of help with the air circulation. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, and of course, you need a brush. How could I forget that? Okay, so here we are with the rest of our paint style that we'll be using. So, of course, our aforementioned McCrag Blue right here. And also, we have Abaddon Black for the outlines of his pauldrons here, as well as some other small details like wires and his neural shroud, all that. We also got Corn Red for his sleeve, because he's a Blood Raven. He's gonna have a red sleeve with the chapter's emblem on it. Ushabti Bone, Ushabti Bone for the pauldron that has the chapter's insignia on it. Some Lead Belcher for his forestaff, release the outlines on it. We have some Retributor armor for his Aquila on his back. That's holding the book right there. Some Caldor Sky for his eyes. And we'll also be painting some Fenrisian Gray in the center of his eyes to kind of give it some sense of like energy radiating from him. And for our shades, we have, of course, the basics, Null Oil and Agrax Earthshade, which should be used for every model. And we also have some Seraphim Sepia for the Aquila, and Reikland Fleshshade for his skin. Now for his skin, I'm also using Army Painter's D&D line. I'm using Fairskin, which is in my palette here. Oh, and also, speaking of, I also have Corax White for his hair and some of the details that we'll be priming, like his eyes, for the kind of to give it this glowing effect. So yeah, without further ado. Also, I almost forgot, I need a smaller brush for his face, because if you use too big of a brush, then paint will go where you obviously won't want it to go. So I'll be using my, let's go with Insane Detail for his face and hair. Alright, now we got the base coat of our librarian done, and you'll notice that it's not exactly the cleanest base coat, and let me let you in on a little secret. So, I get these done really quickly, because I just lather on a base coat to give me a general idea of how the model's supposed to look, and then fill in the details later. Speaking of, that's exactly what we'll be doing next, so let's get to it. So we finished putting on the finer details of our model and cleaned him up a little bit, and he's looking pretty good so far. We can call it done here, right? Wrong. Next step to do is shading, and here is where our Null Oil, Agrax Earthshade, Seraphim Sepia, and Reikland Fleshshade all come into play. So the next step is shading it, bring out all the details by putting the shaders in all the like crevices of the model. And the next thing we do is we do a little basing. Now, I already painted the base a little bit, and because it's one of those pre-molded ones, but I'm going to take it a step further and add some grass to it. So let's jump in. Of course, first we'll need the shader brush. Nice big one to spread the shade paint all around. Gotta be nice and generous with it. And yeah. Really gotta get a lot on there, but not too much, because too much shading can it can ruin the model. So, but you want to give it a healthy amount of shading, as to make sure it settles in all the cracks and crevices of the model, and really brings out the detail. Alright, so now we finished the shading step of painting a model, and the paint is, well, almost dry. You'll want to make sure that it dries fully before you do this next step, but I'd say we're close enough for right now. So as I said before, we'll be adding grass tufts to the base. Now, this is a very small base, so we're probably only gonna need like a couple of grass tufts at most. I'll probably just do one here. Probably put it like right at his foot there. Yeah, for grass tufts on the base, on the one hand, you do want to add a few of them to kind of like liven up the scenery a little bit on your model, but at the same time you don't want to add too many grass tufts because you don't want the base to be too busy and distract from the actual model itself. So for basing with grass tufts, well, first thing you'll need is grass or flocking. That works too. And what I've got here is Army Painter Swamp Tuft. This is what I've been using for my Blood Ravens, and that's what I'll use for my Librarian. And the next ingredient is pretty simple. You can get it just about anywhere. It's Elmer's PVA glue. You can literally find this at like Target for like $1 at most. And of course, you'll need a set of tweezers to make sure that you put it in the grass tuft in the right place. It can be a pretty delicate procedure, so that's what these things are for. So we can start off by putting up our grass tufts. Bit of a challenge to do with one hand, since I got my phone recording all this. Oop. Yep, that was bound to happen. Okay. So now we got that open. Let's get our glue ready. For a model this size, we only need like a drop or two, if that. Shake it up, make sure it's nice and loose. In fact, I was almost tempted to just use a toothpick to put it on, but yeah, I think that's a controlled drop. Okay, there. That's plenty for what we need. So now, take our tweezers and pick up a tuft of grass off the sheet and just place it there. Easy as that. And I think we can squeeze one more on there, on the back side. Of course, this is a very delicate procedure. Yeah, that's plenty. Tweezers, grass. And oh, it's not quite on there. Yeah, let's try that again. Okay, now we let the glue dry, and then I'll take some shots of the finished model. And there you have it. My Blood Ravens army is now finished. Our librarian here looks really nice next to my tactical squad. and the Land Raider over here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video informative. Depending on how well this video does on YouTube, I may or may not do a video like this in the future. I'm also thinking about, like, if this channel does take off, thinking about doing other things, like, say, battle reports, or D&D sessions. But let me know what you guys think. Again, thank you all for watching. I really do hope this was informative to you, and a decent look into my process as a minis painter. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. That's all for today, guys. Happy painting.